Scrum Master's secret weapon metrics that drive success. Are you tired of constantly pushing your team forward, only to see them depend on you for every decision? You're the Scrum Master, not the decision maker. Your goal is to build a self-managing team, and that means giving them the tools they need to guide their own work. How do you do that? By introducing the right Agile metrics, you can empower your team to make smart decisions, see their progress, and constantly improve. In this video, we're diving deep into the 5 essential metrics that every Scrum Master should be using. These aren't your run-of-the-mill vanity metrics. We're talking about actionable insights that can transform your team from reactive problem solvers to proactive, self-managing champions. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which metrics to track and how to use them to help your team grow. Let's dive in. Let's start with 2 fundamental metrics that give you a clear picture of your team's delivery pipeline: lead time and cycle time. Think of lead time as the entire journey a task takes, from the moment it's requested to the moment it's delivered to the customer. It's like measuring the time from ordering a package online to the moment it arrives at your doorstep. Cycle time, on the other hand, focuses solely on the time spent actively working on the task. It's like measuring only the time the package spends in transit, excluding the time it sat in warehouses or sorting centers. Now, why are these metrics so crucial for a Scrum Master? Because they reveal bottlenecks and inefficiencies within your team's workflow. If you see a long lead time, it indicates potential bottlenecks in your process. Maybe there are too many approval stages, or perhaps tasks are getting stuck waiting for dependencies. A lengthy cycle time, however, suggests that the team might be struggling with the complexity of the work itself. It could be a sign that they need additional training, better tools, or perhaps the tasks need to be broken down into smaller, more manageable chunks. But it's not just about the length of these times. Inconsistency is another red flag. If your lead time or cycle time fluctuates wildly from one sprint to the next, it means your process is unpredictable. This unpredictability makes it difficult to plan effectively and can lead to missed deadlines and frustrated stakeholders. By closely monitoring lead time and cycle time, you empower your team to identify bottlenecks, streamline their workflow, and improve their overall efficiency. Remember, the goal is not to micromanage, but to provide the team with the insights they need to self-correct and optimize their own performance. Encourage them to analyze these metrics together during their sprint retrospectives. Ask powerful questions like, what contributed to the longer lead time for this particular task? Or, how can we make our cycle time more consistent? By fostering a culture of data-driven decision-making, you'll be amazed at how quickly your team can identify and address their own areas for improvement. Remember, a self-managing team isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. And these metrics provide the intelligence they need to do just that. Have you ever felt like your team is drowning in a sea of work, unsure of where to focus their efforts? That's where the cumulative flow diagram, or CFD, comes in. This powerful visual tool gives you a bird's-eye view of your team's entire workflow, allowing you to spot bottlenecks and areas of concern at a glance. Imagine a chart with different colored bands representing each stage of your workflow, from to-do to in progress to done. The width of each band represents the number of tasks in that stage at any given time. As work flows through your process, the bands will expand and contract, painting a clear picture of your team's progress. Now here's where the magic happens. By analyzing the shape of these bands over time, you can quickly identify potential problems. For example, if the in-progress band is growing wider while the done band remains stagnant, it's a clear sign that work is piling up and your team might be overloaded. Similarly, if you see a bottleneck forming in the review stage, it could indicate that your QA process is overloaded, or that there are communication gaps between developers and reviewers. The CFD is like an early warning system, alerting you to potential problems before they escalate into major roadblocks. But it's not just about identifying bottlenecks. The CFD also helps your team understand their capacity and make more informed decisions about their workload. If they see that the in-progress band is already quite wide, they'll know that taking on additional tasks could lead to delays and decreased quality. Encourage your team to review the CFD regularly during their sprint planning and daily Scrum meetings. Ask questions like, what's our current capacity based on the CFD? Or do we need to reprioritize tasks to address any potential bottlenecks? Remember, the CFD is a living, breathing representation of your team's workflow. By using it collaboratively and transparently, you empower your team to take ownership of their process, identify areas for improvement, and make data-driven decisions that lead to greater efficiency and productivity. Chapter 3. Sprint Goal Success Rate, Measuring What Truly Matters. While traditional metrics like velocity can be helpful, they don't always tell the whole story. That's why it's crucial to track your sprint goal success rate. This metric cuts to the heart of Scrum by measuring how consistently your team achieves the sprint goal they set out to accomplish. Remember, the sprint goal is the North Star that guides your team's efforts throughout the sprint. It's the overarching objective that provides focus and alignment. By measuring your success rate in achieving these goals, you gain valuable insights into your team's effectiveness and ability to deliver value. A high sprint goal success rate indicates that your team is aligned, focused, and capable of consistently delivering on their commitments. It means they're not just churning through tasks, but are actually making meaningful progress towards the goals that matter most. On the other hand, a low sprint goal success rate is a clear sign that something is amiss. It could be that your sprint goals are poorly defined, that there are dependencies blocking your team's progress, or that there are underlying issues hindering their ability to collaborate effectively. During your sprint retrospectives, encourage your team to reflect on their sprint goal success rate. Ask probing questions like, what factors contributed to our success in achieving the sprint goal? Or, what obstacles prevented us from fully meeting our objective? By openly discussing their successes and failures, your team can identify patterns, uncover root causes, and develop strategies to improve their performance in future sprints. Remember, the sprint goal success rate isn't about assigning blame, but about fostering a culture of continuous improvement and learning. Chapter 4. Team Happiness and Engagement Score, the Human Side of Metrics. In the world of Agile metrics, it's easy to get caught up in numbers and charts, but let's not forget the most important element of any successful team, the people. That's why it's essential to track metrics that measure team happiness and engagement. After all, a happy and engaged team is a productive team. When team members feel valued, supported, and motivated, they're more likely to go the extra mile, collaborate effectively, and produce their best work. But how do you measure something as subjective as happiness and engagement? There are several approaches you can take. One common method is to conduct regular team surveys using tools like Office Vibe or Culture Amp. These surveys can help you gauge team morale, identify areas of concern, and track changes in sentiment over time. Another effective approach is to simply observe your team's interactions and dynamics. Are they energized and enthusiastic during meetings? Do they collaborate effectively and support each other? Are they invested in finding solutions and continuously improving their processes? These qualitative observations can provide valuable insights into your team's overall well-being. Once you have a sense of your team's happiness and engagement levels, it's important to take action based on the insights you gather. If morale is low, it's time to dig deeper and understand the root causes. Are team members feeling overworked or stressed? Are there communication breakdowns or conflicts that need to be addressed? Remember, addressing team happiness and engagement isn't just about creating a more pleasant work environment. It's about creating a high-performing team that's firing on all cylinders. By investing in your team's well-being, you're investing in the long-term success of your projects and your organization as a whole. Chapter 5. Flow Efficiency, Eliminating Waste and Supercharging Productivity. In an ideal world, our teams would spend every minute of every day focused on productive work. But the reality is that there's often a significant amount of waste hidden within our processes. That's where flow efficiency comes in. This powerful metric helps you identify and eliminate waste, freeing up your team to focus on what truly matters, delivering value. Think of flow efficiency as a measure of how much time is actually spent adding value to a task versus how much time is wasted on delays, rework, or unnecessary handoffs. For example, if a task takes 10 days to complete from start to finish, but only 3 of those days were spent actively working on it, your flow efficiency would be 30%. That means a whopping 70% of the time was wasted. By identifying these areas of waste, you can significantly improve your team's productivity and accelerate your delivery speed. But how do you actually measure flow efficiency? One approach is to use a simple time tracking tool to log the amount of time spent on each stage of your workflow. By analyzing this data, you can pinpoint areas where tasks tend to get stuck, or where excessive handoffs are adding unnecessary delays. Another effective method is to conduct a value stream mapping exercise with your team. This collaborative exercise helps you visualize your entire workflow, identify areas of waste, and brainstorm solutions to streamline your processes. Remember, improving flow efficiency isn't about pushing your team to work harder or faster. It's about creating a smoother, more efficient workflow that allows them to focus their energy on delivering value. There you have it, the 5 essential metrics that every Scrum Master should be using to empower their teams and drive success. Remember, these metrics aren't about micromanaging or creating unnecessary pressure. They're about providing your team with the insights they need to understand their own performance, identify areas for improvement, and make data-driven decisions. If you want a high-performing, self-managing Scrum team, give them the right tools and let them lead the way. By fostering a culture of transparency, collaboration, and continuous improvement, you'll be amazed at what your team can achieve. Which of these metrics do you use with your team? Let's discuss in the comments. For more Agile insights, subscribe now and hit that notification bell.